What was 100 days reform? What was deindustrialization? By which charter act did the English East India Company lose its monopoly trading rights in India? When was Peking Convention summoned? Who founded the All India Scheduled Caste Federation in 1942? Next question, who founded the Swarajya Party? Next, why did Indians reject the Simon Commission? What was the Cornwallis Code? What was Sunset Law? When was Republic established in Vietnam? When did Indonesia get independence? Who was founder of Kuomintang Party? Who was the founder of Tamar Lipata Jatiya Sarkar? When was Rasid Ali Day observed? Who started Bardoli Satyagraha? Who started the Wacom Satyagraha? Who were called Anglicist? When was the Regulating Act passed? When was Mountbatten proposal declared? Who declared the communal award? Name any one book written by Swami Vivekananda. What was downward filtration theory? Next, which metal was connected with the grantee system? Next, between whom was the Treaty of Alinagar signed? When was independent of Bangladesh emerged? What was the policy of continent? Next, in which ship did the slogan revolt? Next, what was the objective of the slogan Asia for the Asian? Next, who was the founder of the Satya Swadhak Sabha? Next, between whom was the Lucknow Pact signed? What was the Woods Dispatch? Between which two places were the railways first established in India? What is finance capital? Who was the author of the book Wealth of Nations? Which American general first arrived in Japan? Who was होमी होमी भाभा जहांगीर या फिर होमी जहांगीर बाबा? Was the first president of independence Algeria? Who was Bulganin? Who was Yasser Arafat? When was the Linley Go proposal declared? Who was the initiator of widow remarriage movement? Who was the founder of Arya Samaj? Who was the founder of Arya Samaj? Between whom was the Buxar Protocol signed? Who declared the open door policy in China? What is the system of Kowtow? Who introduced the policy of doctrine of lapse? What is SARC? Who was the first president in independent Algeria? Who was Fidel Castro? Which Indian foreign minister attained the Indian National Army? When is Rasid Ali Day observed? Who was the supreme leader of the Tamalipta national government? Who declared the policy of communal award and when? Who initiated the Rolat Satyagraha and when? What is meant by merit conspiracy case? Who founded the Ramakrishna Mission and when? Who led the Wacom Satyagraha of 1924 to 25? Who was the founder of the Parthana Samaj? When and why did the Timing Rebellion take place? What was Dastak? What was the importance of the Charter Act of 1813? In which place in India were the Portuguese trading posts established? What do you mean by the New World? What is meant by the white man's burden? Which country was famous as the Spice Island? What is Third World? Why was the Geneva Convention summoned? What is the full form of NATO? When was the Democratic Republic of Vietnam founded? What is CR formula? Whom did Subhash Chandra Bose regard as the father of the Indian independence movement in East Asia? In which year was the Pune Pact signed? Who led the Simla delegation? When in the 20th did the Bengal famine take place? Why did Indians boycott the Simon Commission? In which year was the Arya Samaj established? Who was the first vice chancellor of the University of Calcutta? Who was Charles Wood? Next, in which year was the railway first established in India? What is meant by Canton Trade? Who was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India? What was the Sunset Law? In which year was the United States of America formed? What is meant by mercantile capital? What do you understand by imperialism? What do you understand by colonialism? When was the last Charter Act passed? What do you understand by passive plunder? By which act was the Supreme Court of Calcutta established? When and where did the Typing Rebellion take place? When was the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act passed? What is meant by the downward filtration theory? Who were known as Young Bengal? Introduced the Communal Award and when? What was the significance of the Muslim League Lahore session? When was the Linlithgow proposal or August offer announced? What was Gandhiji's response to the proposal of the Kris Mission? Under whose leadership was the Jhansi regiment formed? What is meant by Berlin blockade? Who was Bulganin? Who was Fidel Castro, the Prime Minister of independent independent Indonesia? When was the first general election held in independent India? In which country was apartheid prevalent? What was the Marshall Plan? When and why was the Warsaw Pact signed? When was the Morley Minto Reform Act passed? When and between whom was the Lucknow Pact signed? When and where was the Communist Party of India founded? When was the import of opium banned in China? What is open door policy and who propagated it? Who were the Sahukars? What is mercantilism? Where was the first English trading outpost established in India in 1612 AD? Which European country who first established trade relation with China? Which two ports in China were restricted to foreign trade? What was detent? Who was Ben Billa? Who founded the Pakistan People Party? Name the three members of the cabinet mission. Who was Ho Chi Minh? Which Governor General resolved the Anglicist or Orientalist controversy? When and why? When and why was the Sadler Commission formed? Who organized a powerful movement against untouchability in Kerala? In which year did the May 4th movement start in China? When and between whom was the Treaty of Alinagar signed? Which land settlement granted ownership of rights on land upon the Jamindars? When and by whom was Punjab included in the British Empire? तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, मैंने जितने भी क्वेश्चंस आप लोगों को दिखाया ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। एक्चुअल में पेपर आउट नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन मैंने जो जो क्वेश्चन दिखाया वही आएंगे, क्योंकि मैं हर बार बताता हूँ और हर बार ही आता है। तो अगर आप लोग इनका आंसर नहीं पता है तो आप लोग नोट्स परचेस कर सकते हैं मिनिमम प्राइस में। थैंक यू सो मच, विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट।